What's up everyone, it's Crispy here, and today I'll be going into how to team build in Honkai Star Rail. I'll be giving tips and tricks as well as what not to do and just my general process of how I build my teams. Without further ado, let's get started. First and foremost, I want to go in what not to do. Let's say you're going to a stage and this is who you choose. Acheron, Zila, Himiko, and Jinglu. Now immediately think to yourself, what do you see wrong with this party? All of them are DPS. You have no survivability, no sustain, no amplification, no buffing, none of that. Everyone here is just going to deal damage. If you're in a fight where you're just absolutely not going to nuke them within one rotation or one turn, you need some survivability, some healing, some buffing, someone that can make you hit harder and make you live longer. First and foremost, when creating a team, you want to go to the actual stage or boss, whatever you may be trying to complete. Check and see their weaknesses, their gimmicks, their abilities, anything that can give you some insight on the fight so that you're not learning on the job. Rotations and everything can be optimized if you actually look at what the enemy does before you go into the fight. I know it's a bunch of reading and research, but in the long run, it'll definitely help you a lot more than going in trial and error and just repeating the stage over and over. So let's look at it. You see this boss, weak against ice, wind, imaginary, resistant to lightning. So lightning would not be good for this particular boss on the first wave. But wave 2, it would be really good for this boss. Now this boss in general summons swords. These swords all have different elemental weaknesses, and you can bring multiple elemental characters to satisfy that condition, or you could just break a couple and then DPS the rest. But this is just the first step that I go to build a team. I look at the enemy or what stage I want to complete. Okay, cool, they do this, they do that. What recommended elemental type do I want to bring? Because if you do elemental weakness, I think it's about 20% or so more damage. So in the long run or grand scheme of things, I can help you out a lot. Next in your team building process, you want to pick a character that you want to play as your DPS or your main damage dealer and build the team around them. Let's say you wanted to build a team with Jinglu. You would put her first, and you would say, Jinglu deals a lot of damage. She thrives on going often because she needs stacks to really maximize her damage and get to her second phase where she uses her giant ice sword. So you would say, okay, we have the DPS. Now let's move on to the healer, or the sustainer, who is going to keep us alive the entire time. Let's say you wanted Fu Xuan. I gotta find her here. Right here. That's your second. She'll be on the far right though, so we'll choose her last. You would say, who synergizes well with with Jinglu? Bronya. Bronya will make it so that 1, she has more crit rate, and 2, that she moves more often. Like I said, Jinglu thrives on having high turn rate, high speed, moving often, attacking often. You will say, who else could I bring here that would synergize with those two? I would immediately think Pella. Pella, because she can give the enemy ice resistance down, which in turn would help Jinglu deal more damage, as well as Pella just puts a defense down on the enemy, which would help in general with any team comp. Now fourth is Fu Xuan. Let's look at this and talk about this. Jinglu, DPS. Bronya, the amplifier, the person that will be making your DPS move more often and deal more damage. Pella, she's just there to debuff. She's there to make your destruction, your DPS character, deal more damage. Fu Xuan, she's there in a sustaining role to heal, tank, keep the team alive. Without the healer, without the tank, your team will get KO'd and you won't be able to complete the stage. Now, to piggyback off of my last segment, you may have heard me say Bushwan needs to go last or on the far right-hand corner of the team comp. This is because, if you did not know, units have inherent taunt abilities. This goes in order from most to least: preservation, destruction, abundance, harmony, nihility. Those three have all the same values. Then erudition and hunt. What this means is preservation has the most aggro, most taunt, and that's usually because they're your tanks. They're the ones, like your fire MC or your Japard, that make the enemy target them. Now, let's say we wanted to build a team comp with Japard, who is a tank. We'd go down here, we'd put Japard last. Why you want him last is because if he's getting targeted the most and the enemy is using an AoE attack, it will only hit one other unit that is right beside him. Usually it's 3 tiles. If you had him in the middle, let's say right here, it would hit the ally right here and right here. If you have the tank on the end, either in the 4th or the 1st slot, it will automatically cut off a slot and only have the AoE hit 2 allies. This can be used as a gimmick, whatever you want to call it, to significantly reduce damage to your party. Now let's keep building around Japard. You would say, okay, we have our tank. Now let's hit our DPS. We're going to do a Kafka, because why not? Dami Mommy, right? Now you would think, she's on the far left. We don't want her to get targeted. She's a DPS. She might be a little squishy. In these two, I would put the other squishy right here and the one with the higher HP next to the tank, since they will more than likely be getting targeted a lot more. So I would put, let's say, Aru and May. She will be there as an amplifier role for your Kafka. In the final slot, we'll add another specialist. We'll add a Black Swan for some more debuffs and some dot damage. Because this comp right here thrives off of the enemy taking turns, Kafka and Black Swan getting debuffs on the enemy and triggering those follow-up trap attacks. Finally, let's build a team and go through a little showcase. I'm only going to do the first part of this fight. I don't want the video to be too long. So let's build our team. We want to go based off of our DPS. We're going to use Acheron. Why not? She's a new character. She's absolutely mother effing broken. We're going to put another special... Well, actually, we're going to do our healer right here. Fu Xuan, our tank. We're going to put her last. Let's put Kafka in here. The reason being because 1, she debuffs. 2, she's nihility, and that will trigger a % spike for Acheron to deal more damage. We'll add another nihility. Black Swan. Finally, Fu Xuan. Right here. Also, thank you to one of my good buddies and content creators, Astenosis, for letting me use his account for this build showcase. I don't have a lot of characters on my account that really synergize well. I just pulled the incorrect way. Plus, I just started playing the game again, so it's been a while, and I don't have any updated teams. Now, this first team right here, automatic dot destruction, alright? We're kind of telling the mechanics of this first stage, F you, we don't care. If you do have a strong enough team, you can ignore mechanics and just build how you want. Acheron is basically in a tier of her own right now, and she kind of makes it so you can do that. But right here, we're building her stacks at the bottom, you see. We're gonna add some defense. Attack regularly with her. Let's hit our ult.
Good times never last. Time to say bye.
And you see how this one has 5 stacks. This team is just gonna dominate regardless. Look at this. I feel sorry for Cloud Knight dude. I hope this isn't too loud. Yang Ching, you're gonna get dominated, brother. Sorry.
Didn't hurt.
Let's see. We can hit an E. You see how these guys have that mystery mark on their head? You gotta see what they're weak against. One was weak against lightning. We're basically just gonna dominate all the flying swords. All right, you see how this team synergizes so well. You dispel, or the Jesus. They are putting debuffs on the enemy, and meanwhile, Acheron is building her ult with each debuff they put on. Ushuan is here to mitigate the damage, and then heal when necessary.
A quick divination.
I don't think we need to use her E, plus we want to save it for
All things in this
our
world.
Acheron.
Creations.
Also, if y'all enjoyed, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help with the channel. I got a ton of support on my 10 tips to improve your account. That video is still getting views. It's still going through the algorithm. And I appreciate y'all so much for that. Look at that. Absolute decimation. That's it. I hope y'all enjoyed. I will catch you on the next video. Peace.